Right, welcome back to the YouTube channel of Pro Enzo Vidz. This is the Ankle Breaker Podcast, episode 15. This afternoon, I am joined by co-host and newly appointed co-host, Rugby League Round Up. So I'll start with you quickly, Billy. How are you been this afternoon, bro?
Yeah, I'm good. Not too bad. What about yourself, bro?
Yeah, look, 50-50. I mean, obviously things are happening, but I'm all right overall. And it should be a good podcast. So thanks for joining me once again. And also this afternoon, we've got two special guests, both obviously passionate New Zealand Warriors supporters and two of the best Warriors content creators on YouTube, in my opinion. So I'm pleased to announce I've been joined by Hold the Ball for the very first time on the channel. This is his first appearance here, so I'm very happy to have him here. And I'm joined by other Warriors content creator who has been on the channel a couple of times before, Warriors NRL Fanatics. So I'll start with you, Hold the Ball, bro. How you been? And thanks for joining the podcast. Really do appreciate having you on the channel for the very first time.
Bro, first of all, just what an entrance. I appreciate what you said there, man. They sound a lot better than what I definitely deliver. But, bro, thank you for today. I'm looking forward to the debut, and I can't wait, man, for what you have in store for us, bro. So thank you.
And Warriors, bro, let's have you on. And Warriors Fanatics, obviously we had a bit of connection issues before we jumped on live, but hopefully it gets better during the show as it goes on. So, Fanatics, how you been this afternoon, bro? And thanks for joining the podcast as well.
Yeah, I've been good, and thanks for the invite on the podcast today. I'm looking getting into the discussion, and if there's a few issues, I do apologise for that because just had a bit of rain this afternoon, so a bit laggy. So hopefully it does improve during the show. But thanks for having me on Pro Enzo Vidz and Rugby League Round Up. Looking forward to the discussion today.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully, just when we go more into the show, hopefully, it just improves by then. But other than that, I think it should be a very good episode, and I'm really keen to rip in. So, I guess before we start, obviously, I'll go through the comment section quickly to see who's here. So, I've got CJ Moxley, who's keen, Sam Revel, good to see you here, Sam. The new Fellowship of the Ring. Jason Raiders here. Even lads, how are we? Yep, good. And we've got 7 people at the moment, so good to see some bit of a crowd turn up, and hopefully you can all enjoy the podcast, and it should be a good episode. So let's rip in, eh? So obviously we'll go through the first topic. That's basically going to be about our thoughts on the All-Stars. So the All-Stars this year was very good, I thought. I think it was better than last year's to start off with, and we're basically just going to go for a little bit of a research. So basically, we're just going to be talking about what our general whole Stars was and what we thought about the game and etc. Then after that, we're going to be basically just giving our top 3 players on ground in our opinions. So who do you think was the best player on ground, and who's the other top 3 in general who you thought was good in the ground. So I'll start with you this time. Hold the Ball. Obviously, I guess you're watching the All-Stars, and I just want to hear your thoughts and what you made about it, bro. Did you think it was good, the game?
Yeah, look, I thought the game was actually excellent, obviously, as the kickstart, for the season ahead. Look, on paper, I guess you could have probably gone for the Indigenous team, and you probably wouldn't have been wrong, to be fair, but I'm just surprised how the Māori sort of turned up. But overall, it's just a good clashing game of culture and obviously a bit of violence, which you like watching on the field. Obviously, Up Under as well was a bit tricky. He was a few times, but overall a good game, a tough game, and with the footy as well, so it was pretty good. So enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I agree, bro. It was definitely better than last season. I will put it that way. It was better than last season. I think that was just overall looked more better, I think, in terms of quality-wise. Warriors NRL Fanatics, what did you think about the All-Stars game? Obviously, you went live on YouTube for the All-Stars, and I did pop in a bit to see how it was. I was obviously on the Rugby League Round Up YouTube channel for the reaction. But you got some pretty good views on your live stream. So what do you quickly, just your general thoughts on the All-Stars? What did you make of the match?
Yeah, look, I thought it was a great game. I know there was a few errors at the start because, so I thought it was a great game. Start with it's back now. the pre-match stuff with the Māori doing the haka and the Indigenous doing the wall dance. That was very cool to watch. I enjoyed that at the start, and the game really lived up to expectation. Actually, there was a bit of, doubt whether the game would live up to expectation because there's a lot of star players out, the likes of Joseph Manu and all those big name players out for Māori and the Indigenous All-Stars. So I thought it was a great game. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. It was very good. And lastly, Rugby League Round Up. Obviously, I was on your channel to react to it, and obviously, a lot of good things happened, like the Tyrell Sloan try, like you said, all night. You're really high on Tyrell Sloan to get a try, weren't you? And you finally got there. And it was a fun stream overall. On your hopefully, we can do a lot more of it in the future. But yeah, bro, what was your small review on the game? What did you think about it, just quickly?
Well, other than the errors, the game was pretty much, I thought, was excellent. It was an excellent game, and Warriors Fanatics said, people thought, the game might not be as good now as the stars are out, but it just didn't affect it. The game just was amazing to watch.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, look, I think you all made some good points, actually. I think it was a very good game. I was glad there was a bit of aggression and a bit of fighting during the game because that just goes to show the passion that both and respect that both sides have for each other while watching that. And also just some of the players as well, I thought had a really good game. I thought guys like Nicora were pretty good for the Māori team. I thought, players from the Indigenous, that was all right. Nico Hines was bad. A lot of people rubbishing him, but I thought he was players for the Indigenous side and the losing some of the team. But yeah, the quality of the game was pretty good. I was pretty impressed with it. I enjoyed watching the game, and I've got to say the haka and the Indigenous, I don't know their name, but the dance at the start, they were both pretty good, good pre-game entertainment. So I agree with all you three. I think it was a very good game, and hopefully next year, hopefully we can somewhere in New Zealand, which we'll touch on in a little bit later on. Round obviously now we're going to play. So I think it's I think there's a lot of good players who play on Saturday. A lot of players who kind of definitely showed up and put a good performance on. So round up, just quickly, who do you think was your top three players on ground, or just name a couple of players who played well?
Well, at number 3, I have Cody Nicora. I thought he stood out for me. I thought he played well in the halves. He was the more dominant half by far. Not much people expected him to go well. I thought he was excellent. So he scored a try, really good with the ball in hands, and definitely the more dominant half on the day, and that's what impressed me. And who knows, maybe if he plays like that in the preseason, he could get a good opportunity and a good contract with the Warriors if he plays well. Number 2, I have Nicora. Now, you said this yourself, bro, and Nicora took some really solid runs for the Maori All-Stars. And, he just played well, both sides of the field, defense and attack. And, so he's my number 2. And my number 1 is Joe Tarpony. Now,
yep.
I think he got robbed of one try, but he got it back. So, he should have gotten 2 tries, but he ended up getting 1, which is still good enough. Made 120 plus meters. A lot of good post-contact meters, 50 post-contact meters. In fact, 4 offloads, and he made about 32 tackles. So, really good game from him. I thought he was Maori's best player on the night, and he got the player of the match. So, well deserved.
Yeah, well said, bro. I do agree with that, actually. What does Sam say? Sam says, yes, Pro Enzo, let's hope the All-Stars does cross the ditch next year. Great point. Well, I hope so. I think New Zealand and the fans over there definitely deserve a game like that to come back. So, fingers crossed, eh? Hold the ball, bro. Obviously, I watched a bit of your review on the game and your ratings for some of the Warriors players. And, but in general, who were your top 3 players on the ground, bro?
Yeah, look, mention my top three, and then probably just like a little side on another player. But, for me, in no particular order, Joseph Tarpony for sure. Played ferocious, brilliant ball runner, and I think he's a very underrated ball carrier. We don't really understand just how strong he is with ball in hand. Another one as well for me was Nico Hines. I was looking to see what he could deliver for the Indigenous team, and the kicking game I think was quite superb actually. Obviously, there were some times when he sort of faltered, but you can see he's sort of shaping up for the Sharks heading into this season. That's exactly what they need, and he delivered that in spades. And a third as well for me, again a little bit biased, but I have to go with Cody Nicora. Who I thought just played well. He really managed the game well, which I was very surprised about. I was actually heading into this game thinking he would give us a bit of a doozy, but the brother turned up and he played well, and I definitely appreciate that. But I'm also just shout out to Shakai Mitchell as well, who I thought, for his debut as well, I thought the big fella played well. Hard some stages too, where he has a bit of that Latrell in him as well, that ruthless aggression, which was good to see. And no, it was good overall, but those are my top three.
Yeah, well said. And before I get on to Fanatics, I do agree, actually. You made a good point there. I thought Shakai Mitchell was pretty good. I do think in its actual first game playing against actual NRL players, he was pretty good. Didn't do anything amazing, but I did think, he brought a bit of impact when he came on. Obviously made his tackles, obviously made some meters. So I thought it was pretty good actually by Shakai. So hopefully gets a NRL debut this year. What happened to Warriors NRL Fanatics there? The connection probably died in the ass again, unfortunately. But we might just have to move on until he comes back. But anyway, I'll give my top three just quickly. So number three, I'll start with Brendan Nicora from the Melody All-Stars. Obviously, Brendan Nicora for me was very good. At the same time, I don't think he gets talked about enough because obviously he made a lot of line breaks. He gave Brandon Trill a bit of a bath at the same time. His Sharks teammate kind of ran over the top of him a couple of times, what I've seen. And just as well, I think he had a strong performance actually, Nicora. Yeah, the connection again, unfortunately, about this. But anyway, Nicora was good. He did play pretty well. And I think he makes my top three. Number two, I will go Patrick Herbert. Patrick Herbert was obviously very impressive. For the top, like last year in the final series against the Roosters, he obviously did sort of have a bit of an off game. Well, not an off game, but he kind of made that, that bad last decision for the Titans. All he had to do was pass the ball, they'll probably win the game. But I think since then he's back a bit strong and he had a good game. So I think Herbert definitely makes my top three as well. And obviously number one is pretty obvious. I think Joe Tarpany gets it for me. Obviously won the Preston Campbell medal. That's the player of the match. And I think that's a very rightful decision. I think that's and hopefully he has at the Raiders, which I think he will, since obviously, as you probably know, all the people watching, as you know, I had Raiders bait, and I think he's a reason why they might go well because of Joe Tarpany in the back of it all. Obviously, want Fanatics to come on, he's fortunate, but it might move on. The internet starts working again. I don't know what's happening, but this is what we'll worry about. We'll worry about this. But anyway, let's move on to
Yeah, I just want to add on with Patrick Herbert, like you were saying, that dude was monstering Fifita on defense, man, like jumping on him like he was a backpack, like bringing him down like crazy ways, man. I thought it was just good to see, and definitely for sure, good player on that day.
Yeah, I was impressed with him. I was good to see him come back strong after an ordinary final series. But anyway, we'll move on to the next topic, and this is basically still touching on the All-Stars. And this will be interesting as well because I did speak about this before. Hopefully it does happen next year. So, former NRL player, he called to bring the All-Stars to New Zealand next year. Obviously, it's been about 3 years since. It's 3 years since New Zealand experienced the game over there. So, obviously, I'd like to see the game be brought to New Zealand one day, and hopefully, because it would be good for the fans. And, I think it's fair. I mean, Adam Blair's not the only player who has requested this by the NRL to bring the All-Stars to New Zealand or bring an actual NRL game to New Zealand. I think Sean Johnson a couple of weeks ago made a strong point about bringing, we'll bring back in New Zealand soon from what I've seen. So, overall, I do support this call. And Fanatics is back again, so just hold the ball before I get into you quickly. Just going to get Fanatics on. Hope these connections just better, at least. Are you there?
Very annoying. Yep,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
back.
it's all good. Are you there?
Very annoying connection.
All right, good.
Sorry about that.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry, bro. Just hopefully you can hold it this time, yeah. But yeah, hold the ball like I was saying. Just want to get your thoughts on it. Actually, Adam Blair, hoping the game of All Stars goes to New Zealand next year. Do you back this call?
Oh yeah, look. I guess it goes without saying, for sure. Obviously, you know, the last basically ever since the concept was there, it's been in Australia. Look, in theory, it sounds good, and obviously, you know, logically, it makes sense. But whether it's going to happen or not, I'm not too sure. But absolutely, it needs to happen. Obviously, the Māori need to have their turn. They need to sort of bring the indigenous over to their land, so to speak, and you know, again, play there. But yeah, for sure, 110% I back it. But again, whether that happens or not next year, I don't know, man. I know the NRL, I think, are pushing for it. I'm pretty sure they're absolutely keen. Not only for them, but the Warriors as well. But yeah, for sure, absolutely back it up. Yep.
Yeah, well said. Rugby League Round Up, do you agree with Adam Blair saying that bring the All-Stars to New Zealand next year, or do you have a different opinion on it? What's your thoughts on it, bro?
Definitely deserves to be in New Zealand. I mean, we've had it in Australia for the past four years about now. So it depends on COVID. They're probably going to it depends on the borders. If they still got that 10-day quarantine thing and COVID's still going on over there and they're not going to allow anyone over, it just depends on what happens there. But if that's all out of the window and the borders are open and no quarantine needed, just play there because they deserve it after all these years without a game in New Zealand now. So, yeah, I think they definitely do deserve a game for a bit.
Yeah, look, I agree. Obviously, COVID's going to play a lot in the decision making to bring the All Stars to New Zealand next year. Hopefully, COVID's a bit better by then. So we'll have to wait and see, and time will tell if that does happen. Yeah, Warriors NRL Fanatics, mate. So obviously, Adam Blair, like you just seen, Adam Blair's obviously caused the NRL to bring the All Stars to New Zealand next year. Do you agree with that? And also, just want to add as well, after you talk about that and give your thoughts on Adam Blair saying that, just want to hear your top 3 players on ground, bro, from Saturday, because obviously you weren't there, your connection dropped out a bit. So quickly get your thoughts on who your top 3 players on ground for in the Maori and Indigenous All Stars game, bro. If that's all right.
Yep, sure. For my I'll go for the Māori one first. For me, at 3, I've gone with James Fisher-Harris. Number 2, I've gone with Cody Nicorima. And number 1, I've gone with Joseph Tarpony. Yeah, that's my for the Māori All-Stars. For the Indigenous All-Stars, that's tough because there's not many stand players for me for the Indigenous. And again, it really stood out for me for the Indigenous. And it was really up to my top 3. So I've gone it. Good game. So that top 3 for both Māori and Indigenous All-Stars.
Yeah, well said. And what's your thoughts on Adam Blair saying for the NRL to bring the All-Stars to New Zealand in 2023? Yeah, what do you think about that? Obviously, former Warriors player requesting it. What's your thoughts on that quickly?
Māori All-Stars versus the Indigenous All-Stars should go and play in New Zealand. I think once the borders open, I think it's all clear. I think that should happen. I think that would be pretty good for the New Zealand. New Zealand deserves some senior rugby league. So, yeah, I think it'd be good to see the All-Stars game in the future.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah. For me, I agree. I hope the game brings the All Stars to New Zealand. Obviously, the people of New Zealand would like to see a bit of footy back in that country. It's a very beautiful place, New Zealand. Love to go there one day. So hopefully, COVID's all good by then, and hopefully, as well as having a game there, because it's been about 3 years, like I said, since the NRL has actually had an NRL game be there. So hopefully, next year's a year where we do see an NRL game or an All-Stars game happening there. But there's still this year. But yeah, actually about that as well, about potential New Zealand games happening this year. That's something we'll touch on a bit later. But on to the next topic now. This is one that Rugby League Round Up, I'm pretty sure, requested to talk about. And it's about Dragons' utility player, because I don't know what position he primarily plays. But yeah, Jack Bird. So obviously Jack Bird, his contract situation is a bit interesting at the moment. There's talk about whether he would be re-signed by the Dragons or whether he might be let go. From what I understand, because I haven't really heard about this as much as maybe what other people have, Jack Bird's obviously a bit of a contract limbo at the moment. So I guess it depends on his injuries and depends how much games he plays this year on how he'll stay. So obviously you want to talk about this Rugby League Roundup. So I'd like to get your quick thoughts, bro. So do you think he'll stay at Dragons, and what do you make of the whole situation overall? Because obviously probably a bit more than me. So what's your thoughts on it?
Well, even without a biased opinion, I think he'll stay at the club. I mean, we took him back from Brisbane just to get his physical health back up, and we did that. We got him more than 20 games this year, which is absolutely amazing for him and for the Dragons. And that's in one of the press or conferences, he said that himself. I just wanted to get through with the season. Like, obviously he still cares about the club, but to get through a season without injuries is a big task, and he accomplished it. So yeah, I think he'll repay the Dragons, and yeah, he will resign.
Yeah, no doubt. I'll start with you this time, Warriors NRL Fanatics. I don't know if you heard much about it, but the Jack Bird situation, obviously he's off contract at the end of this year, and obviously there's a bit of talk about whether he'll stay at the club or not. Personally, for you, do you think he'll stay at the Dragons from this year and onwards? You there?
Look, I obviously not the situation, but look, for me, look, I think the Dragons should re-sign him. I think they should definitely re-sign him. But one thing I'm is Jack Bird's best position. Like, where do you play him? Like, where do the in the side? I mean, it's hard to get a read on where they play him personally from my point of view. But for the Dragons, I think they should definitely re-sign him. Whether he stays on.
Yep. Just a bit unfortunate we couldn't hear much of that, but anyway, I think you will stay as well. What's your quick thoughts on that? Just about Jack Bird? Will he stay or leave at the Drag?
Yeah, look, just quickly, I think CJ Moxley sort of beat me to it, but I reckon obviously there's another team called the Dolphins that are sort of lurking around. With Jack Bird as well, unfortunately, in rugby league context, age doesn't favour him as well, right? So if the Dragons were looking for something younger, potentially they offload him, potentially Rabbitohs, or I don't know, some other team sort of signs him. So I'm not too sure. Will he stay? Look, I'm not too sure. I'm not going to be brave enough to answer it. Anything can happen, and like I said, it's been the Dolphins around the corner, bro. You just don't know. So I'm just going to stay out of this, man. Got to watch what happens.
If that happens, I'll be in a hospital.
Yeah, fair. Fair call, bro. I mean, it's hard to determine. Really hard to determine, eh? But look for me, I think he'll stay. If he manages to play over 50 games he did last year, then he should stay. Get the body right, keep him injury free, and he should still be playing. So hopefully, there's another big season by Jack Bird. So I've got a couple of people in the chat here, like Luke England Cricket here. Zay the Aussie, thank you both for joining. Oh wow, the Fanatics connection is really playing up on him today. Fuck. Oh, he's back. But anyway.
Unfortunate.
Bit of annoying, unfortunately, but what it is, this is what you get with Fanatics, unfortunately. Anyway, we'll just keep on going. Gonna try and ignore the connection as best as we can. On to the next topic now. So this is a bit of an interesting one because this is obviously a hold the ball super. I believe this is hold the ball team Dragons, and obviously you probably would have seen yourself hold the ball that Dylan Napa's tackle on Mark Percival. I'm pretty sure that's who he tackled high on the St. Helens centre. Obviously, he copped the red card for it, and obviously he's copped a bit of backlash, which I expected anyway for the tackle he did. So obviously it's your team, bro. So hold the ball. Just like to hear your thoughts very quickly. How long do you think Dylan Napa should approximately miss for his high tackle on Mark Percival?
Yeah, look, I wish if this was more like better news, but not only did we talk about Dylan Napa, but we also lost as well to your team, so that sucks. But look, it doesn't matter where Napa is, Rooster Dogs, still the same dude, just the same dude. I don't know what laziness, who are just, willingness just to try and kill someone. I don't know what it is. But in terms of being subbed, I'm not sure how they sort of do it over there in the Super League, but I'm going to assume at least, 5 to 7 has to be long. You can't have that rubbish in the game, and the NRL are trying to stomp it out, so you may as well try there as well. So I reckon definitely over a month for sure, has to be.
Yeah, no, that's a fair call. You can't have any in the game. Oh, Nick from Australia, he says big puppy equals big dummy. Yep, no, I agree with that. That's a pretty good way to say it. He's a bit of a dummy, unfortunately. Napa, yeah, very silly. Rugby League Round Up. If you saw tackle, obviously it was very bad. Napa did to Mark Percival, the St. Helens centre. Got a red card for it as a result. So, in your opinion, I wish I could play the video of the high tackle on the stream, but I have to work that out next week how to do that sort of stuff. But anyway, Rugby League Round Up. How long do you think Dylan Napa should approximately miss for the tackle he did? Obviously, it was very bad.
Well, I've only seen the tackle about 3 or 4 times, but the way I looked at it, it looked like maybe 4 to 6 weeks he may be out. That minimum 4, maximum 6, and he's been a grub his whole career. I don't mean to be rude about it, but he's been like that. He's just that aggressive, grubby player. He takes all the high shots, dog shots. Remember when he goes in with his head? He's done that so much times. Yep, he did. He does it against the Broncos.
Oh, yeah.
He loved doing that against the Broncos. But I mean, a bit rude, but yeah, he's definitely a grub. So I'm just reading Nick from Australia.
Send up into Japan and make it into rubbish in the bin. Oh fuck, that's funny. That's gold. Oh fuck, well, he's a very silly man Dylan Napa, isn't he?
Yep.
And just lastly, Fanatics. What's the force on the tackle like? Obviously, very. How do you think Napa should miss for the tackle he did? Fanatics.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking hold the ball. Very unnecessary tackle there from the Napa. I thought it was a bit of a grub move actually, and I think he should be. I think he should miss quite a few games. Actually, he should miss 4 to 6 weeks for me. I think it was a very average tackle, and I think he should be suspended for a very long time actually. So I think it was a very, very actually, and he passed in the NRL of unnecessary tackles and stuff like that. So yeah, I think he'll be out for quite a while.
Yeah. Just quickly, what would your maximum be for Dylan Napa? Like, do you think you should miss about 4 or 5 weeks or a bit more? Like, how long do you think you should miss?
I'll say 4 to 6 weeks maximum. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. No, that's a fair call. Yeah, I would agree, actually. I think 6 weeks is fair for Dylan Napa. You know, you can't go in with your shoulder directly to the head. You know, we've already seen this many times how bad. It's very serious if you charge him with your shoulder because you're supposed to tackle properly with your arm, not tackle with your shoulder, right? So it's very stupid of him. And yeah, he's already copying it. He's already hating the Super League, which I don't blame him for. So yeah, you know, it's obviously Nick's comments is just funny at the moment. But anyway, yeah, you know, it's not good. It's not a good look for him, and not a good look for I guess as well his new club for Catalans. Right, so we're kind of on to the last topic now, and this is basically going to be one based on Hold the Balls and Warriors NRL Fanatics' team, because this is what I've added now. Whenever there's guests on the channel, trying to make a topic about their club and kind of talk about that instead. So yeah, I think this is a very interesting one actually, because I'd like to hear actually, you know, both you know, you lads' thoughts on this, because you're both obviously Warriors fans, and obviously you might have a bit of an opinion on this as well, with how the Warriors have been delayed their return to New Zealand, June homecoming. So yeah, just quickly Hold the Ball. I'll start with you first, bro. You know about this yet, but I'll check anyway. But yeah, what's your quick thoughts on the Warriors homecoming being cancelled? Obviously, that's very sad news. When I saw it on Friday, I'm pretty sure that's when the news came out. I was a bit sad myself, because obviously I was looking forward to seeing the Warriors come back home and finally play in front of their faithful. And it's been that this is happening. So yeah, bro, do you think it's the right call or the wrong call? And yeah, do you think they'll play at all in New Zealand this year?
Yeah, look, both you and Roundup touched on it regarding the duration of the last time we played. And last time we actually played was 2019 in August, I believe. That's the last time the Warriors actually played in New Zealand. And a lot has happened since then, you know what I mean? So just give you guys a bit of context. Yeah, look, obviously over the 10-year as well, we've been wanting to sort of play back in Mount Smart. And every time it feels like we're getting close, it gets pulled away. And unfortunately, the same thing again this year. Is it right? Is it wrong? Look, it's wrong. But obviously, they're just trying to mitigate those COVID issues over there, trying to make it safe. I don't want to get too political, because it's so easy to go down that sort of avenue regarding this particular subject with COVID. But it's just a simple fact of New Zealand want to try and keep their border safe. The Prime Minister's trying to look after, her citizens, so to speak. And so that means at the cost of the Warriors basically going over there. It sucks. I'm devastated. I personally don't think we'll get a chance to play, honestly. I don't think we'll play New Zealand this year, and we probably won't even play next year. That's my deep thoughts right there, and it's probably not good to have, but I just don't see a way out of it. So nah, it's not great. It sucks. And without us playing in New Zealand, I almost question the identity of the Warriors. I know that's a big, but that's where I'm sort of at the moment. Anyway, yeah, those are my thoughts there.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, because I want to see Warriors get back to New Zealand. I want to see them play there again, because obviously, it's been. I can imagine how hard it is for their fans over there in New Zealand, how hard it is for them in general to go through. So hopefully, just fingers crossed, they can at least play there a bit later than about maybe like August, September, maybe they're lucky. And Warriors NRL Fanatics, obviously you're a passionate Warriors fan, and obviously I watched your video about the whole news as well. Just yeah, what do you make of the whole situation? Do you think it's a right or wrong call in your opinion? Just quickly.
Well, it's difficult, and it's really disappointing to not be able to play another game at Mount Smart. Like, it's been so long. It's 2019 is a very long time since we played a home game, and it was cancelled. Very, very disappointing. I was pretty gutted, because I was a little bit excited. I was very excited to see that the Warriors could come to the. Is it the right call? Well, it's tough, because if to isolate now, that's the problem. That's the problem, because they have to isolate for a few. To be honest, I think it's the what it is. Unfortunately, it's just what it is.
Yeah. And last Rugby League Round Up, what's your general thoughts on it, bro? Very unfortunate, isn't it? I can't really hear you. I don't think your audio is really working. Yeah, we've got a bit more issues. That's the last thing you sort of need. But yeah, I don't know what the audio is doing there. But anyway, just wait. Try now quickly. Rugby League Roundup. Is it working now? No, it's not working. You might have to try and fix something. Maybe you actually press the mute button. I don't know. But before he starts, I'll just give my quick
press
thought.
the mute button.
Yeah, that's why. That's why. Okay. All right, you're all good. You can speak now. Give your thoughts on it. Yep, go. Rugby League Roundup, we're waiting.
I'm muted again. I don't know why I'm still keep going on mute for. I'll fix that up. But yeah, one word.
Oh no. Oh my god. That's what. Listen. Nick's summed up perfectly just then. Lorenzo is going to explode. Yes, I am. That's what I'll exactly be doing. I'll be going fuck as well at the moment because of all these issues. Anyway, apart from that, just quickly, Rugby League Roundup, Billy, just give your thoughts on the whole situation at Warriors quickly, bro.
Disappointing. If I was a New Zealand fan, if I was living in New Zealand, I'd want to go watch some footy at the stadiums, and if that was Dragons, bro, I'd be doing what Warriors Fanatics just did that I'll show you. But yeah, what can you do when you've got a bit of a premier that sticks her face up her ass?
Oh fuck.
What do you do? Very disappointing, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to keep this very short because I think we've been on this topic for long enough. I'll just say, hopefully they get to play there again this year. It's a bit unfortunate how it got cancelled, the whole June homecoming, but hopefully they can get to play about August or September this year, hopefully. But yeah, all right. I think this brings an end to the podcast. I just really want to say quickly thank you to Hold the Ball for joining the podcast. Obviously, very first time having you on the channel, and hopefully I'll have you on the channel many more videos to come. So thanks, bro, for joining the podcast. I really do appreciate it, man.
Welcome. Thank you.
And Fanatic, obviously a bit of issues with your connection, but I'm still glad that you managed to jump on anyway. So thanks again, bro.
Yep. Yes, apologies for the issues, and thanks for having me on. Really enjoyed.
Good. And of course, the other co-host, Rugby League Roundup, always good to have you every week for the podcast, bro. Thanks again for your contribute to the show.
Thank you, bro. I'm enjoying this every week. Thank you, Hold the Ball. Thank you, Warriors Fanatics, for joining. Hopefully more podcasts soon, and hopefully on my channel I'll get you guys on.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, well, thanks for watching, everyone. Watching the Ankle Podcast episode 15. Bit funny, but it was a good podcast overall. Make sure you do subscribe to Rugby League Roundup's YouTube channel and subscribe to Hold the Ball's YouTube channel, to Warriors NRL Fanatics' YouTube channel. All the channels are in the description down below. So go click the button right now and give them a subscribe, because I guarantee you won't be disappointed with the content they put out. But anyway, guys, that brings it into the podcast. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one next Monday. So see you then.